All right, our next speaker, I want you to please welcome to the stage a trailblazing educator and inclusion advocate whose 5-decade mission has transformed schools into joyful, empowering communities for students, teachers, and families alike. She's a founder of Joyful Inclusion and a national voice for change. Dr. Amy Pleet Odle.
Thank you, Jack. Some kids just won't learn, teach the rest. That's what my department chairman said to me. It's 1970, I'm a first-year teacher. And I thought, that can't be right. What do you mean, some kids just won't learn? I'm a teacher. What do you mean, teach the rest? I knew there were more pieces to the puzzle. I just didn't have all the pieces, but I was gonna find them. Some people call me a visionary. A visionary like Martin Luther King or Mahatma Gandhi or Jack Canfield. I laughed that off. I'm not a visionary. But you know what? Any teacher who doesn't give up on their kids is a visionary. So I'll claim it. Yes, I am a visionary. Well, let me go back to the beginning. 1970, I'm a first-year teacher. Let me tell you about Dale. I can still see him, 7th grade, walking into my room. Taller than most 7th graders, definitely taller than me in my spike heels. He walks in, hair sticking out on one side, crooked grin, shirt tail hanging out on the other. He was sharp. And what a fund of knowledge he had. You ask him anything, he understood this. He had so much background, but you know what? He could barely read or write. And he was in my 7th grade English classroom. I was not prepared for Dale. I didn't know what to do. So that's when I went to my department chair and said, what do I do for him? Some kids just won't learn, teach the rest. But I was not going to give up on Dale. I'm not a quitter, I'm a visionary. So I tried to figure out this strategy, that strategy. Making it up on my own sometimes worked, sometimes didn't. 5 years later, I'm sitting in a faculty meeting, and a speaker comes to tell us the country has passed the first special ed law. It's 1975, and it will now be illegal to keep kids home just because they have a disability. There are going to be all these kids in our middle school next fall. And we're thinking, can you picture us looking at each other? What are these kids going to look like? You know, what will they act like? How do we teach kids in the 7th grade who have never been in school? What is this going to be like? The speaker went on. There is a new disability diagnosis called learning disabilities. You see, some kids have things they learn really well and some things they struggle with. There's a discrepancy. And I thought about Dale, and I said, some of the kids might already be in our classrooms. And then our speaker went on and said, there are strategies you can use to help Dale that we've learned from early brain research. And I thought, okay, we don't have to give up on kids like Dale. Yes. And so that discovery changed my life and focused my vision. I dove into special education, went on and got a degree, went all the way, got a doctorate, and I was hungry for strategies and principles and frameworks that I could use, that I could take back and convert into my classroom for kids like Dale. And I helped my whole school, and then I helped my whole district, and then I helped my whole state. And it was really, we were making a difference with some of these kids that had never been successful in school before. But I wanted to have a bigger impact. So I went to a university, and I took a position as a professor, and I was the founder and the director of a special ed graduate program. And every candidate who came into my program, I said, why do you want to be a special educator? And each and every one had a story of a kid who had touched their life. It might have been a sibling, it might have been that kid on the playground, it might have been a kid they're teaching now. and they want to learn more because they didn't want to give up on kids either. And so I made sure every one of my courses had the strategies and the skills and the mindset they needed so that they would be able to have the impact they were called to make. I believe every teacher wants to be that teacher who makes a difference in the lives of kids, that this kid will not be the same because that kid had me as a teacher. And I saw that in all of these teachers, the heart that they brought to what they did. But across the country, teachers were leaving the field. What was happening? Why wasn't this working? So I took another position. I went to another state and I was the state inclusion specialist. So I'm out in schools working with school leaders to shift the system so that teachers who were called to make a difference had the strategies around them and the supports around them so they could really have the impact they wanted to have. I remember meeting with a principal in one of those first schools, and the principal said to me, "Our special educators, I think they're a waste of your time. They're hanging out in the backs of classrooms. What a lazy bunch of teachers. But if you want to go spend some time with them, go ahead." But what I saw were committed educators that wanted to make a difference, and they didn't know how. You see, they were put in the back of somebody's classroom who was already teacher of the year or some other great teacher. Do I butt in? Do I interfere? What do I do? What do I do? And I thought, they don't need a graduate course. I knew how to do that. They don't need another whole day workshop. That makes no difference. What they needed was one strategy that could work with this kid right now at this time. So, okay, try this one strategy. Well, I don't know. They tried it and it worked. What else you got? And so little by little, as I'm coaching them, I could help them develop their skills. It made my day when I was walking through the halls of a school and a teacher pulled me into a room with this huge smile. And I remembered last time I was here, that teacher was ready to quit. She said, "Wait till you see what we're doing today. I love teaching again." Her spark was back, and that kept me going. But I thought, I want to make an even bigger difference. And so I found, let me tell you about a principal. So I was walking through the halls with a principal, and we were talking about what his teachers were doing well, what they weren't doing well. And he said, "Can I tell you the truth? I don't know what special ed inclusion should look like, but I'm pretty sure it's not what we just saw in that classroom." And I thought, okay, I'm not giving up on the kids. I'm not giving up on the teachers. I need to help the leaders and the principals too. So I founded Joyful Inclusion not as a program, but as a movement that we want every kid to be successful. We want every teacher to love teaching. We want every school leader to know how to set up the system that would support those teachers to really do well and thrive. So I want to leave you with 3 questions. Question 1, how inclusive is your school really? Are there students like Dale, full of potential, who are struggling because nobody has cracked the code on how to help them thrive? And what about your teachers? Do they love teaching? Do they leave every day fulfilled and excited and really thrilled for what they're able to do? Or are they burned out and just trying to survive the day? And third, what about you? Are you a visionary, maybe a closet visionary? Do you have a dream that your school could be more than what it is right now? If so, join our movement. Because the truth is, you can't do this alone. I couldn't do it alone. Right now, I have a team of inclusion coaches who go out into schools across the country to live the joy of joyful inclusion, to help the teachers to become more effective and the principals and the leaders so that kids can thrive. That old saying, some kids just won't learn, that's not vision, that's surrender. And when a group of visionaries lock arms, they do more than imagine a new possibility. they build it. Thank you.